Hello. I want to set up a drawing style for a lightning rail. So I figured I'd just record it. This is my first run at this, so it's more of an attempt at setting it up, I guess you would say. So first I'm going to just do a basic rail. So objects. What am I doing? Extended modeling, sorry. As you can see, I don't always remember where everything is. And then we're just going to put in a rail. It doesn't really matter what it is. I should have said no, but anyway. Alright, so I'm going to put in a bit of a rail here. We'll change it around a little. It doesn't really matter. Let's not put the grab rail on it. We don't need that. And I'm sure you guys already realized that it doesn't come in with the proper connections on the end of it. I don't know if they've fixed that for 2022 version. So anyway, for now, what I'll do is I'll just put a connection on the end of it. Now, what I generally like to do is I'll delete this first before I put in that. So let's come in here. Now, the odd time it does work, but most of the time it doesn't work. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to, again, this is probably not the right way to do this. It's just because the connection doesn't seem to work properly. So through the macro, that is. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to change the presentation of it, and we're just going to delete that because I don't want to have this underneath the other one after I do the connection. So just to clean it, keep it clean kind of. So, and then we can copy that one across to the other side. Alright, so we've got our basic rail, and we're going to copy this one. Sorry, my brain is scrambled a little bit today. Alright, so there's our rail. We can delete our beam, and we'll just check that everything is connected in the shop. It is. Then we can go to home, numbering. Okay, and we're going to be R1, and let's go to the output just to check what the main part is. Is the top one, you can see is blue, so that's good with me. Alright, so now we have our rail set up. Now if we want to output this to a drawing, I'm just going to select this and we're going to go to our drawing process. And I'm not even sure where I have this set up right now, to be honest with you, but let's do assembly selected. And ANSI, okay. Alright, so this is going to come out. Let's right click on this, or sorry, left click, and then right click and show assembly detail. And you can see it's scrunched up a little bit. It's got some labels, that's okay. So it's actually not too bad for what I want, because there's only 2 dimension lines. Did I change the scale there? Sorry. Did not want to do that. Change it back to 1.5. Change the clipping. Make this 2 inches. Maybe it's too long, but let's see. Too long. So let's go to 1.5. Will do. 1.5. Okay. And okay. And there we have our piece. So now on the lightning rail, we really don't want any text, so we really need to output 2 drawing styles for each of these. And you're probably not going to want most of this stuff here. So what I'm going to do is, we're going to have some labels. So what I will do is, this is, like I said, it's a test run I'm just trying to do for somebody. So what I'll do is I'll go into my drawing style And let's see, we want to go to assemblies, and actually, you know what, I output this file without saving this, so I need to save this. So let's save this in here, and I guess I'll just go in here. And I'll call it lightning rail. I'll change this. I'll change this later. Lightning rail, okay. Rename that, sorry. And it's going to be a test. Alright, so lightning rail up. Lightning rail, save. Alright, so now I should output that. So I'll just output it again, alright? So, because now it doesn't realize, now that I've saved this in a location, it's not going to be able to find that. I can find it, but it's just easier to just output it again. Alright, so show assembly detail. So we have the same thing, right? So we're going to scale it up, or sorry, we're going to change the clipping to 1.5. Alright, so you kind of, it's up to you, it's up to what your client wants. You're going to want as little as possible in here, right? So the text also is going to be an issue, so we probably need to change these labels because it needs to be recognizable text. I just need to check that for 1 second. Yeah, sorry, it was out next door there asking this guy what the text was, so it's he doesn't really know. So this is what it comes out without a box, right? So now what we're going to do is we're going to go into the drawing style of that, which is, again, I forgot to check. And double click here. And we can see it's 6 railing, main part is handrail. Okay. So let's go in here. And we're going to go assembly. Sorry, 6. Sorry, I'm in 5 again there. I wonder why. Railing main part is handrail. Is this one. And we'll just create a new one. So I'm going to copy that. Main part is handrail. Okay. We're going to put lightning rail. Lightning rail. If I could only spell. Lightning rail. So I'm going to come down to the next level, detail, title, view, arrangement, and we're going to copy that again. Sorry, I'm in the wrong one there. We want to... So we've already created this. This is our 2 views. So it's giving us a front view and a top view. And inside in each of these, we're going to have object presentations. And the object presentation is going to be 6 railing. And in the other one, it might be the same. 6 railing, yes. So what we're going to do is come in here and we're going to create a new one, 6 railing, front lightning rail. Okay, then we're going to go down to the second one, create another one so that we don't mess these up. Back up before you do any of this. That was one of the previous videos. Alright, so we've got both of those done. So now if we come in here to the object presentation, we want to create a new one of the object presentation. And we're going to call this lightning rail again. Now we can see in the lightning rail this has changed, and now if we go to the other view, object presentation, it has not changed, so we're going to change that to the lightning rail. So now if I change either of these object presentations, it will change both of them. So for one, we're going to have to take out the parts that have leader lines in them, because we don't want the leader lines. So main part beam side width, we don't have to worry about that right now for the one we're using. Curve beam, attach beams. So attach beams all. So let's say we do want the text in here. So let's double click on this. And we're going to change this to one that doesn't have the leader line. ADM single part. I just want single part with 330 seconds. So I don't even have that there, it doesn't seem. I don't want the depth on it. So what I'll do is I'll just copy this. Single part 330 seconds. No, I only have single part 1/16. So let's copy this one. And I'm going to call it single part 330 seconds. And it's also in the other drawing, so it's asking me if it's okay to modify. I'm going to say okay, because I know I've just created this one, this object presentation, and it's only in the two drawings that I want. I'm going to turn off the leader line, and then I'm going to come down here, and the problem I'm going to have is this text. So I'm trying to see at txt, is that in here? So what I'll do is, just to keep it simple for now, because I'm not sure about the text, we'll just put it in as Arial for now, right? So the text is going to be Arial, which is not going to work either, but I know where to change it later. So do the text as Arial, apply, okay, use, and you can see it's coming with that text, and we don't want anything like this, any of these, so we're going to change these as well. So now a lot of people don't want any labels, so you would just turn off all your labels basically. So, but for now I'm going to attempt to do it with the labels in here. So let's go back in, object presentation, single part 330 seconds, don't ask me again, okay, apply, use, and you can see the elbows should change, there you go. So now we have other ones we need to change, but for this particular drawing, this is all we need to change. So let's go back in here. Also, we want to do object presentation, right? So we want to do the main part beam here. Main part beam side width, all. So this should be the one that's controlling that. So let's have a look at it. This one here. And we're going to want to change this to mark. This has a leader line, so this one actually has nothing in it. So let's create a new one, mark 3:30 seconds. So that's mark 3:30 seconds, and we'll probably have to change the size of this later as well. I don't want a leader line. I've got nothing in here, so I got to put in main part mark. I obviously deleted that some other point. So that's the main part mark, and I'm going to change the text to Arial also. And use that, and hopefully this label up here will change. So that label has also changed. Now the location of the labels is a whole nother thing, but for now it should be okay. Now obviously we don't want this to cut as well, so we'll have to remove the fact that this is cutting, that's clipping the label. So let's go back to railing and view properties, clipping properties. And we're going to turn off the clipping in the x-axis and apply. And let's go to the other view. See, we really only want a front view anyway. We don't want another view, so we could almost delete this other view. For now, I'll leave the other view there, but yeah, I will probably delete it later. So we want to go to this view, and we want to turn off, there is no clipping on there. Okay. So now the scale will probably need to be changed. Apply. So let's go back in here and use that, and it should remove all the clipping. So there's the clipping is gone. So now your scale is okay, because this needs to be at full scale. So what I need to do is go back in here and go back here, sorry, thinking and not talking. The view property, I'm going to want this to be 1:1. So I know that sounds crazy, but it's not going to fit, obviously. So apply, use. So now there's my railing. So you can see now my text is all too small. So we're going to have to go and change the text out, right? So let's go back in here. And we've now made this 8 times bigger. So we can almost make the text like 3/4 or something like that. So let's go back into our object presentation. And let's go to this first one. And we'll click in here, and we're going to do, see, we really should create a new one, right? So we're going to have to create a new one. This is where you start having a lot of stuff in here. Single parts, 3/4, okay. And then come back in here, and you want to change that text to 3/4. Now click in here to make an effect, apply, go back to my object presentation, and this one here. And we're going to change this one, and we're going to have a copy of this, and we're going to call this also 3/4. Okay, we're going to have no leader line, that's correct, and we're going to change this text to 3/4 also. Click return, and then click in the box. Apply, go back to object presentation. Now, as I say, for this rel I've done, I only need to change these 3, but this will not be complete because I'll have to change all the labels. So I'm just doing it quickly here. So So whatever I've done here, I forgot to change the second part. So as you can see, when you're rushing through things, you can make mistakes. So what I've done is, you can see from the second one changed when I did the first one. So we need to go back in here, and I've kind of screwed it up now. So you can see how you can mess it up. You can also see this says copy of curve beam. So we really need to change that. So if we go to the properties, this was a mistake I made before. So copy of curve beam, I'll just change that to curve beam ADM. So don't panic if you mess these things up. It can be a bit of a pain to fix them, but if we go back into this first one that we changed and go back in here, we can see that I've changed this one, which I didn't mean to change. So I needed to also create a new one here. So what I'm going to do is, so I don't mess it up totally, that's the single part mark. So I'm going to come back and change this back to 330 seconds. Click back in here. So I have back to my 330 seconds. So I can apply that. And then I'm going to copy this. And it's going to be ADM single part 3/4. And then I'm going to change that back up to 3/4. So it's a bit of a pain, right? But that just shows you when you're not paying attention. So now I'll come back to this next one, and I believe we did the same thing here. So you can see this is single part mark, and so originally this was probably 1/8. So let's change this back to 1/8. And then I'm going to create a new one, single part mark, and we're going to call it 3/4. Okay, and then we're going to come in here. Seems like that is 3/4 already. So let's go back to the single part mark one, which is 1/8. I don't know why that changed there. That's strange. Anyway, it's like it knew what I wanted to do. I don't know how. So apply that. Okay. So that text should get bigger now. So these two got bigger and the other one didn't because I didn't change it yet. So let's go back in again. And let's go object presentation and attach beams. And we can see if I go to single parts, apply, use, and all these other ones now should get bigger. All right, so your labels aren't too bad. So now all we want to do is we want to get rid of some of this other stuff, right? So we don't really want a lot of text here because he's going to have another drawing. So what we want to do is change this text. So let's go back to the title here. And what's going to happen is we're going to have to change this out first, I believe. And we'll remove the frame. So we're going to remove the frame, and then we're going to change all this writing to 3/4. All right, and then we can scale this down here so we can read it a little better. And then we're going to select everything here, and we'll go in and change it to Arial. Now I'm not going to have this as Arial all the time, so let's use this, and this should change down here. All right, so that's now also changed. All right, so the problem is now we don't have a sheet big enough, right? But when they receive these files, they're going to change them to DXF. So basically I need to create a prototype. So what I'm going to do is we'll save this. Alright, and I'll get my lightning rail, and what we'll do is we're going to go to output and we're going to edit my assembly and CC, open it, and I'm going to get rid of this. I'm going to delete that, and I'm going to delete the revision box and block editor. I will get rid of my label, and we want to keep, I guess, the revision and the part number, the project. So for now, I'll just go through quickly. We'll get rid of these. I'll get rid of this. Get rid of that, and let's just move these over to here, and we'll delete all that. We can't delete that, right? Because we'll be missing those lines. So let's draw in a line there. And copy that line down, and then delete those, and we can copy this line down here, and alright, so at sync, select. Alright, so we've minimized it down to that, and I'm not sure if we want to delete the page frame also. I should probably get rid of those boxes, but that's fine. I think that'll do for now. Now, I should have saved that first. I didn't. Save that as soon as you go into it with a different name. I'm going to call this lightning rail. I'm going to save that, and if I go down to the page properties here, let's see, paper size. So I'm not going to be able to get a sheet that's big enough, right? So for now, let's close it down. So let's just see what we got there now if we do that. So we can just change this now if we want. So let's go to labels and dimensions, change this to assembly and CC lightning rail, and these are from the previous one, these are not from the new one. It doesn't delete those when you change your prototype. So you can see now we now have the file, but we still have the dimensions, right? We still have 2 dimensions in here. They're just small now, so you can't see them. So let's go back in here and view dimensions. We're gonna, we can just create a new one. So this is railing front, so let's create a new one. Railing none. Okay. And that should get rid of all the dimensions apart from the main one. So, or part, yeah. So that's good. So there's no dimensions there now. You can't delete them all. So I'm not sure if I should just, is there a none here? Anchor plans. Off. I guess there's an off, right? So we just turn it to off is the best thing. So go to the other one. and view dimensions, and also this is off. Apply, use. Okay, so now we have the file we want. It's in the DWG. It's actually missing my, it's missing the part I left down here, right? Whatever I did. So we'd want to have a new process for this, right? So I'd want to have a new lightning rail process. So let's do that now as well. Video is going to get long. Actually, my mouse is getting a little bit flat here. I'm going to have to charge it in a minute. Let me see if my charger's here. Yes, it is. All right. So what I'm going to do is go into the process now. So let's go into a drawing process. And the drawing process that we use for this is assembly selected. Not in advanced, obviously. Drawing process, assembly selected, and CC. And I'm going to copy that. And CC lightning rail. You know, I should put that lightning rail at the start, right? So let's just do lightning rail. Start with that one. Okay, that's fine. So we've copied that. So let's go in file selector, and we want this to go on the lightning rail one we just created. Apply, okay. Apply. So the main step. So I've applied that now, and again, because I'm rushing, made a mistake. So come back in here, change this back to a DM. Apply. Then, okay, then come up here, and you can see I need to create a new one here. So lightning rail. And then I'll come in here. I have a feeling I've done something wrong, but let me see. Apply, okay, apply, okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go into my defaults, and I'm going to go to drawings general, and I'm going to allow duplicate workshop drawings. I'm going to update, and then I'm going to come in back into my drawing process, and I'm going to go to that new process I just created, use that, back in, sorry, use, okay. I didn't select it first, sorry. And then we should have two assembly details of the same thing, and my second one looks like that. Now, problem being, there's an automatically, it's all automatically scaled to this. And you can see it's put in my dimensions as well, because I'm using the wrong one here, right? So it's sending it to the main part. So I never changed that. So what it's done is it's gone back to the other drawing style before I copied it, but it's put it on the right sheet. So that's my mistake. So we'll go back into the drawing process, and we're going to go down here to the steps here at the bottom. And we're going to edit this. So again, we're going to copy this one. We're going to change it to lightning rail. And as you can tell, mine's a bit of a mess, but I don't mind. I'm going to start from fresh soon. Main part is handrail, so we want to change this one to main part as lightning rail. All right. apply, okay. Now alternate scales, let's have a look in here. 1:1. Not sure if that's going to work now, because sometimes it gets overawed anyway, whatever I do wrong. Okay, so let's pick this again, and because we have the checkbox for the duplicate drawings, just don't forget to turn it off again afterwards, that we can create another drawing for this. Lightning rail, use, okay. Now, should be 3 in here, so let's go to the third sheet, and we can see we have got what we want, kind of. Obviously the sheet here is too small, but I just want to try something. This was kind of for a test. So if I go into that file, lightning rail, DWG, lightning rail, details, it's going to be this third one. If I copy this back out here and then rename this, not sure if this will work. This is kind of what I'm trying to do, because he's receiving DWG files and just changing the extension. So now I'm going to see if I can open this. If not, there'll be another workaround, but he has the drawing there now at least. So it needs to be in model space, you know. Where was I again? Lightning rail. DXF. Please enter to continue. Clicked on the wrong file, did I? I think I did. No. Interesting. Press enter to continue. Invalid or incomplete DXF input. Drawing discarded. Alright. Drawing discarded. So I'm trying to figure a way to output this best as a DXF. So I don't know if the best way then is to start open file and DWG, and let's open this, and then file save as, DXF, and we'll copy it. Lightning rail. So that didn't work either. I don't know what it's still running actually for some reason. Open. So I'll just name this 31 or 33. 33, save. See, I don't want to have to open them and save them as DXF, so I'm trying to think of a way around it. So if let's see if it'll open. It's not. It's opening in Advanced Steel. I was hoping it would open in AutoCAD. And that's still not going to open now. So it's probably because it's in paper space. Yeah, so I guess I'll have to stop for there because I'll have to figure this out. But basically the video was to go through setting up with the drawing style, the output without any dimensions or anything. But it seems like I'll just have to, for now, copy it over. So don't save to that. So what I'm going to have to do, I guess, is I'm going to have to open this lightning rail here, and then we'll just have to do something like this. If I do this, right, copy this, open a new drawing, delete all that crap I have in there, Control V, 0, 0, 0, top, and now save as. Lightning rail, DXF, lightning rail test. Now I saved that as a DWG, I want to save that as a DXF. Details, save. Now if I go back into that, save as. It's in the details, alright. I didn't see it there when I looked, sorry. It's in the details, so let's go back. Lightning rail, DWG, details. So lightning rail test DXF, let's see if that'll open up a new version of Advanced Steel and open that as a DXF file. So that's not working either. So, alright, have some work to do. But basically I was just setting up a drawing style where you can just remove all the things you need to and get the scale right, but there's still some work to get it to the client. Alright, that's, I'm sure, not of much benefit to anybody, but I'll probably put it up anyway just so people can have a look. Alright, take care.